Welcome everyone to this very special community call. Today is 9 of August 2023, and this I hope will be a day that will live in history of certainly of Kleros, and also maybe of Web3, and maybe maybe in the history of law. So this is the day where we will show you for the first time the testnet of Kleros 2.0. Which is something we have been working for a very long time already. Last week, when we made the announcement, I said something about the story of Kleros, how it started, what were the motivations, how I met Clement in the first place. Now we want to just speak a bit about what Kleros 2.0 means and what went into its development and how we think of Kleros moving forward. So, as you know, Kleros started in 2017 with the vision of creating a CURD system for all of the Web3 ecosystem. CURD were all of the dApps of this emerging Web3 industry could just plug, let's say, and send their disputes, and then Kleros would make a decision and send it back. That was the early vision, and then we launched our first version in 2018 in July with the beloved Dodges on Trial pilot. And in 2019, during the HCC conference, we launched what we now call Kleros V1, right? So all of these versions were, so V1 basically was built with the tools that the Ethereum had at the disposal of developers back then, which was quite rudimentary. There was, of course, no on-chain identity system. Everything had to be done through token-based voting and connected incentives. And so with that CURD online and launched, we started looking for integrations. As you know, what we try to do at Kleros is try to find projects that want to integrate Kleros, that want to use Kleros for resolving their disputes. And then also we had a lot of education to do in the market. So we developed a number of showcase apps to show potential partners how Kleros would work in different use cases like escrow, curation, oracles. And through all of these many discussions we had with lots of potential partners, and all of the discussions we had at conferences with lots of people that, from the industry, we basically start to learn a lot on what the market demanded from a system like Kleros. So some of the learnings we had over time were, for example, first one, people wanted to build an app on one chain, and they wanted to use Kleros for the pseudo solution, but it turned out that Kleros was in a different chain. So there was situations where this was an important friction point for integration, because Kleros could not handle those disputes happening in other chains. We also learned that for a number of use cases, Kleros needed to be way cheaper in order, especially to resolve small, low-value cases in, for example, consumer gaming disputes, content moderation. Those are use cases that require low costs, which Kleros in the mainnet deployment was not able to provide. Others wanted more sophisticated decision-making logics. For example, giving jurors, instead of binary options, as most cases in the early version of Kleros, giving jurors the possibility to rank among different options. And others also wanted CURDs where people would be verified through on the identity service, and in order to enable decision-making mechanics of one person, one vote. Okay, so these are some of the learnings we had after pitching and discussing Kleros V1 with lots and lots of partners and potential partners. And this is what these are some of the basic requirements that went into our research lab and that came out as specs for Kleros 2.0. So what does Kleros 2.0 bring to the table? Well, it brings answers to these concerns that we found out during our market research activities. For example, the court should be able to resolve cases in other chains. So the court now in D2 will live in a home chain, and then we will be able to resolve cases coming from different foreign chains. So the way to build this was not super easy, because to make this work, we needed a specific type of bridge, of message bridge that was not, basically didn't exist. So that's why we had to develop the VIA bridge, which is a critical piece of infrastructure for enabling this cross-chain architecture. Then, as I mentioned, Kleros V1 was deployed initially in Ethereum mainnet, which was expensive. So D2 is going to be deployed on a rollup, which makes it way cheaper and makes it able to resolve smaller value cases. Another important feature is this enabling new decision-making logics. As I said, situations where there are ranked choices, and this sounds a bit like easy sometimes when one says it, but to have a ranked choices or other decision-making logic, there are lots of social choice theory problems to resolve. And so this new decision-making logic and these new voting systems that we want to implement, they don't get attacked or they don't get broken by malicious agents, okay? And finally, this idea of having one person, one vote systems, which is very important for a very large number of use cases in different courts. So, as you know, when Kleros started, there was no on-chain identity system that one could use to create one person, one vote courts. So people could just split their tokens among different addresses. So basically, token-weighted votes were the only way to go in the early days. That was also a bit one of the motivations we had when we launched Proof of Humanity. So to start building this infrastructure that would enable the Kleros courts to use logics of one person, one vote. And the truth is that these are some of the things we learned through speaking with lots of partners and potential partners, but we don't even know what other requirements might arise in the future. So the key principle on which Kleros 2.0 was built is an idea of a modular design where in the future we can add new features without having to make change into the basic Kurt smart contract. So this is going to be very important for having the flexibility to add new features faster without needing to make a deployment of everything again and without having to audit all of it again. So it's going to be way easier for us to adapt to the evolving market imperatives that will come in the future. So why is Kleros 2.0 taking so long? Because it's basically a release that is built to last for a long time. I mean, for people who are not from the software world, and lots of our community are not software developers, many of our lawyers, other people, basically, Kleros 2.0 is kind of building like an airplane. I mean, you cannot launch something that kind of works and then try to improve it. You need to make something that actually can fly safely, even if at the beginning it's a bit uncomfortable and limited in what it can do. But that can accommodate new areas or new features easy, like maybe a nicer bathroom, nicer seats, better AV system, an area for cargo. This is the main idea behind the modularity architecture of Kleros 2.0. So launch something which is, of course, secure, and then start adding improvement through these modules. So what can we expect for the future? So the immediate future is that we want to have the community test Kleros 2.0 in the testnet and give feedback. And this feedback is, of course, going to be thought into consideration by the team and then implemented. And then, of course, we will have to audit the smart contracts. The logic behind Kleros 2.0 is quite complex, and there's going to be quite exhaustive, smart contract auditing before moving forward to the actual launch. And then, more from a long-term perspective, this is also like an inflection point in the life of Kleros as a project. And so the team will focus on developing a new modules, addressing more decision-making logics for more use cases, as I mentioned. So all of these modules, this is something we will keep working, and we will try to create modules that respond to the market demands that we see out there. Of course, we will continue with our integration activities, and even this is going to be much easier because we will have a more flexible product to offer that better accommodates the specific needs of partners, and lots of partnerships that were not moving forward because of Kleros not being able to have one person, one vote course, or not being able to accommodate a specific voting mechanism that was required. So this will unlock a number of conversations that we have been having with partners, and this is expected to bring more integrations and more cases. As you know, as we have more integrations into Kleros, this tends to bring more cases. And when we start having more cases, we will also have to worry more about community outreach activities, in the sense that more cases require more jurors. And as you know, we think of the Kleros ecosystem as a marketplace that has a demand of arbitration services and a supply. And so the demand are these integration partners that send cases to Kleros, and the supply is brought by jurors who use their time and expertise to resolve those cases. And then, so as we get more demand, then we will have to try to look into getting more jurors, and this will require a number of activities in communication to jurors, education of jurors, and a number of other activities to bootstrap the supply side of the marketplace. We can also expect, I guess, in the longer run, I mean, you can really imagine, an ecosystem with specialized companies that will start offering different front ends for the court. We can mention, imagine a front end built on VR. What's coming in the future is how Kleros interacts with very advanced AI systems. So all of this ecosystem is something that is starting to be created right now after this very big inflection point. And to be honest, I also wonder what the community is going to surprise us with. You can imagine different community members also like becoming leaders of different, courts and different, becoming leaders of different use cases and try to push for more adoption. So yeah, I can imagine lots of different things happening now that V2 is going to be launched. So I don't want to take much more of the time because I know you're not here to listen to me. I know you're here to see what we have built. Just wanted to say that this is a new stage in the life of Kleros, and a big congratulations to the team who worked very hard on this super hard piece of software. This begins now, and thank you very much for listening to me. And let me also give the stage to Clément, who is the master brain of all that went into V2. So Clément, please.
Hi everyone. So why we made we are still making V2. So V1 was obviously made in to deliver quite fast. So it was not made to be modular or to be evolved across time. But it was mainly just made to exist and work and provide value to projects which will be integrated. But across time, we found out that there will be some cool things we would like to do, but that we could not do with the current version of Kleros. So some of those are, for example, different voting system, because currently we are just using first past the post, which is simply the proposition which will get the ruling which will get the highest amount of vote is the ruling which is chosen. That works quite well if there is one obvious answer. So it would be the case in the case of binary answers, or you also have some cases where the answer are non-binary, where the answer is obvious. For example, if you ask how many goals did this football team score in this match, you have an infinite amount of answer, but you only have one answer, which is an obvious one. But now, when we are asking something which are a bit more subjective, we can end up into some weird pathologies, such that if you ask if someone should be compensated with $100, $1,000, or $10,000, you could end up into a situation where you have 3 people who say $100, 3 people who say $1,000, and 4 people who say $10,000, and the result will be $10,000 because it's the one which would win the first past the post. But if you look at what your preference would be, you could assume that people who voted $100 would prefer $1,000 rather than $10,000. So if you only had 1,000 and 10,000, you would get 6 votes for 1,000 and 4 votes for 10,000. So normally 1,000 should win. And this kind of thing are not possible with Kleros D1. So in Kleros V2, we are having the possibility of having different voting modules, which will allow to have this more complex voting system, which will generally be using rank voting. So where you will rank a list of ruling from the ruling that you believe to be the fairest ruling to ruling that you believe should absolutely not be given. And that can allow a better result for cases where you don't have one very objective answer. Federico also talked a bit about it, but we can make some quotes where we can try to lower the concentration of votes by preventing people to be drawn multiple times. When we ask people to be registered in Program Humanity, so their KNK will still be a chance to be drawn. But if someone is drawn one time, then you cannot be drawn a second time. So that will give a wider range of jurors for those courts. Also, you have the forking system. Currently, the forking system is a system which mainly exists in our head. It doesn't mean that it's not effective. Like Ethereum forking, for example, is also only existing in people's head. But it means that it can be slightly harder to make a fork when it's not formalized at the protocol level, and that to make a fork, you will need to have a few people who are at least a bit knowledgeable about the functioning of Kleros to fork Kleros in case of a very unconsensual ruling which will be given. For example, we had the US election, and most people in Kleros are probably not in the US, so it was quite consensual that Biden won. But if we were in the, if it was everyone were in the US, we probably had something more like 55-45 in Biden won or Trump. We don't really know if he won or not, and we probably have had a fork at this point. And for that, we would have been better to be able to just fork it from a graphical interface from the front end instead of having to be technical to make those kind of forks. So having the forking module, and we also have now we are gonna move to a cross-platform world. Like Ethereum, I think it's still the king of the smart contract blockchains. But we're getting sometimes other blockchain like the chain, but also even more we are getting rollups. Even if currently there are more beta test of rollups because they are ultimately governed by some UTC or other form of governance, which means that they do not inherit from the security property of L1, but we're gonna soon have, well, I hope soon. Soon is in the crypto world, so maybe a year or two, we're gonna have real rollups. And so for that, that means that we can move Kleros to rollup so that the gas fees are lower while still keeping the same security as what we have on the Ethereum mainnet. And we also need to be able to give rulings on other platforms, so other chains or other rollups. So they also made VIA to have a very efficient bridge. So that's something that we are thinking about. V2 originally, besides being a rollup, is gonna be very similar to V1. So it's not about like when you launch V2, it doesn't mean like everything changes. It's more that V2 is gonna allow modularity and is gonna allow us to add stuff across time, which are gonna make Kleros safer, such as, for example, the forking mechanism, and also stuff which make Kleros more flexible in some particular use cases, such as different voting modules. So yeah, we're gonna see the testnet, and maybe JB here may first want to talk a bit, because JB is the leader of the V2. Yeah, okay, let's go with JB.
Hey guys. Yeah, I had trouble hearing the last part, but yeah, I can. Should I move on to the introduction of V2, the front end?
Yeah, please go ahead. This is what people want to see. I mean, so let's go.
All right. Okay, I'm sharing my screen now. Okay, which screen is this? All right, so I think you should be able to see my screen now. I hope it's not too small. Is it good? Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it. I mean, the phone screen is a bit small, but we can see it.
Okay, should be a bit bigger now. All right, so okay, this is the front end that you have. You can see there's a dispute in progress down there. We have actually the team is working on it right now. Still, squashing bugs, looking for bugs everywhere. But so here we are. So if you are going to get to give it a try, you would go to this site, v2.kleros.builders. Of course, it will be on the kleros.io at some point, and then you would try to connect. The first time you will connect, we've tried to make it friendly enough so that if you have never used Arbitrum Goerli before, it's going to ask you to probably add a network to your wallet. And then you would go and switch to Arbitrum Goerli. Apparently, I was not on that network. And the wallet is asking me to add this network, which I didn't have. So depending on your wallet, it might look a bit different. All right. So I'm now on Arbitrum Goerli, and I'm going to try to stake on a court. Because it's a testnet, you wouldn't have any PNK Goerli initially, so we've tried to make it easy enough with this beautiful claim PNK button up there. You will be able to claim 10,000 test pin accounts. And when it's done, you should see, well, it's here. You can see it. You can see it here. All right, so now we could maybe go to the general court, stake it all, and do these two transactions to stake. As you know, there's an allowance and then the actual staking transaction. All right, so I've got a confirmation. You will get notified, not just yet, because we are working on setting up the notification infrastructure. which will be better than the one in V1. We are hoping to have not just emails, but also probably Telegram notifications and others. And so now we should see that there is more PNK staked. There is an ongoing dispute here, which is in voting period. Someone has already voted. We could, for the sake of it, submit some evidence. I think that you could also attach the file. Yep, that's it. Yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to create another test dispute, and that's something that we are going to do more regularly going forward. So we'll coordinate with the community and make it interesting. So whenever the subgraph picks it up, it's going to display the new dispute. Some point. Come on. All right, anytime. Yeah, okay. It's just popped up. This is taken from an actual moderate dispute from May. So, well, we could vote on it. So for this demo, we have set 3 minutes for each period. This is only for today's demo, but from tomorrow we'll move it. We do it in such a way that the entire resolution takes about a day. So we could have a dispute in the morning that you can vote on and see the result in the evening. I'm not sure how we'll deal with time zones, but we'll figure it out. And okay, this is not me. All right, how is this one progressing?
Maybe as we wait, we can take a question, JV. So the period.
Yeah, sure. If there's any question.
Yeah, any guys, you have any questions about what you're seeing so far? You can write the questions if you want. I mean, if you don't want to speak, just write them on the channel, and we will ask them.
Yeah, in the meantime, we can see this dispute that has finished resolving, I think 10 minutes ago. So this is the summary of the verdict. So you can sort of see the timeline, who has voted.
So well, wait, I can tell that we are preparing a bunch of disputes, so you can test. As JB mentioned, we are going to have one dispute per day, with like fast, resolution times, so you can see the whole flow in just one day. I don't have to wait for like a week, like traditional court times in Kleros. So we chose some. I mean, a bit of everything. We chose some disputes that come from an escrow type of use case. That is one of the use cases that we have. Then we chose some of the curation. I think it was an address tag dispute. Then we have, I think we chose the famous Oracle dispute, the Trump and Biden election. So you can relive, that on the V2 experience. And we also have, I think, one from Proof of Humanity as well, and also from Moderate. We try to give you a bit of an overview of different Kleros, use cases, and we will be adding some more as we make more progress.
Yeah, I can maybe just show a little bit of the video so we can see a bit more of what you could see in the other steps of the dispute. So, okay, can I do it? So that was recorded a couple of days ago, and we've iterated quite a bit on this already. So, okay, so yeah, I didn't show that actually. So yeah, you can find the usual primary document or dispute policy, the court policy. Oh yeah, you can of course see the context of the dispute on the arbitrable debt. And yeah, okay, this is an example of the appeal screen that you would see when the dispute is in the appeal period. And all right, yeah, I think that's about it.
JB, maybe you can explain a bit about what is working in this launch in the testnet and what isn't. I mean, we still have to work on notifications, so people know better what to expect from what they will see.
Okay. So, okay, try not to forget anything. So, you should see your performance across, like your historical performance across all the disputes you've participated in. You should see your coherence score and also the percentage. So the percentage is just like if you've been drawn for 10 disputes, if you've been coherent for 8 of them, then it's going to be 80%. And then the score is actually normalized across the across using some model that tries to be a bit more fair. So because usually we've noticed that in V1 the distribution of the performance of the jurors is very different depending on whether people have participated in just one dispute or like 200 disputes. There are a few people who were drawn in 200 disputes. So we sort of tried to have a simple formula to have a score, and this score will determine your level. And there are 5 levels. And so that's the name of level 0. And yeah, we'll keep developing this gamification aspects, but the coherency score and the percentage and the levels should already be working. Yeah, you can already explore the courts. We will add more courts to better reflect the entire hierarchy of courts that exist in V1. Maybe one thing to mention is that the UX is actually designed on what you would do on mobile. So, for example, if you on mobile you would actually swipe left and right here. I don't think I can do it on the desktop, but yeah. So if there is a whole hierarchy of courts with many levels, you can actually swipe left and right. And yeah, so you can explore, see the policies and the skills required for each court. The cases. So once again, it's been very much optimized for mobile at this point, and we'll keep making it increasingly more desktop friendly. So like on mobile, it's going to look more vertical and yeah, more flat and with more information on desktop. So what's coming next? We are right now finalizing the implementation of the hidden votes with the commit reveal. We will also improve the UX around staking, because there's something that it's an implementation detail, but depending on the phase that the arbitrator is in, your stakes might actually be applied with a delay. And we are working on making it more intuitive. So even if the court is in this non-staking phase, your PNK balance should already reflect the fact that you've increased your stake. Currently, if you were staking on the court when it's not in a staking phase, your balance would not change until the court is moving back to the staking phase. So it's an implementation detail, but we just want to make it really more intuitive. Yeah, and then we'll add more things under the hood for upgradability and supporting other VRFs. And more on the front-end side, what else do we have? We are going to keep polishing the appeal tab in the disputes. When it's outside the appeal period, we'll have more useful information that currently only show when the dispute is in appeal period. What am I forgetting?
JD, what is people who want to start testing this? Where should they go? What's the link? How do they get PNK to stake? What is the call to action here?
All right, so I'm sending it in the chat right now. So you can head to this URL. Go to the courts, connect your wallet, and you will have a button to claim some PNK and stake it. And then we'll let you know when we create a test dispute. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, and then
yeah,
yep.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello. I don't know if I need to raise my hand or to ask a question, or you just speak like this.
You can ask.
Yeah, I have a question regarding. Well, so far it looks pretty good, guys. Good job. but I saw there was a case where there were 3 options. One option was yes, then it was no. The second option was no, and the third option was it was too soon to answer or something like that.
Yeah.
So in those cases, right? Maybe you guys explained it earlier. Sorry if the question is inappropriate, but my question is exactly. It says there answer too soon. So what is that basically?
Okay, so this is one of the answers that is available depending on the protocol that is requesting arbitration. In this case, it's the reality protocol, and in their protocol, they have a definition for what it means to answer too soon. So by looking at the policy, you would have the criteria to decide which option you should vote. Okay, I'm opening it right now, reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is one of the choices that they are requesting. Like, if you were the one requesting arbitration to Kleros, you could have 5 or 10 different answers depending on your question and depending on what your needs are. Yeah.
Great. So this means that in case option 3 is the final result, then that means that the stakes that are placed by the challenge people and so they go back to them basically, or what happens with the stake that is in dispute basically?
So yeah, go ahead.
So for reality, you have the option of allowing the answer too soon functionality. So
we can't hear very well.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're like too far from the mic. Or maybe you can answer, JB, if you know what is working.
3 seconds. Can you hear me properly right now?
It's a little bit better.
That's a little better, Clement. Yep.
So in reality, you have the possibility of allowing answer too soon.
No, it's not working, Clement. It's still volume is too low.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
A bit better, but yeah, not great.
I can just if I shout like that, does it work? Okay, I will try with the handphone. Now, does it work?
Yeah, but with the echo now. Yeah.
Shut down the other mic.
Yeah, okay, good. Go ahead.
Okay, now
This is hilarious. Memes incoming. No. Yeah, you go ahead. This is Clement speaking from the beyond,
Yeah. This is maybe JB can explain.
Okay. So just to be sure,
We are solving this 2 seconds.
Quoting the documentation from reality, you should select answer too soon to answer the question at the time the first answer was given, for instance, because the question was about an event that had not happened yet. So yeah, again, very specific to reality. Depending on the date that the question is referring, the reality question is referring.
And the stake, basically the stake that is placed goes back to the challenge person and the other one, or the stake remains in the court until the time is appropriate.
So the PNK.
Wait, no, I think you can hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's much better.
Yes,
Okay. So
So it's reality. So reality, it's another application, like, so it is not like the stake doesn't go into Kleros. What goes to Kleros is only the arbitration fees. So reality is a general question answering application, so a subjective oracle. Anyone can put a question. In practice, it tends to be applications which are putting questions, such as Suzy for moderation, Omen for some prediction market results. You have some users which are using reality, and reality is then using Kleros as an arbitrator. So when you ask a question, you put a bond on the answer that you believe is correct. So in this case, you will put a bond on yes, or you will put a bond on no, for example. However, if the question cannot be answered yet, for example, you could have a question which would say, will Trump win the US election? And you ask it even before you get the result. In this case, if someone starts to say yes, then you can put some bond on answer too soon. And if no one complains, well, you're going to have answer too soon, which means that the question will be re-asked after. So people can answer the question when the result is known. But it's also possible that you have a disagreement on that, and whether the answer is yes, no, or the question cannot be answered yet. In this case, you can pay the arbitration fees. When you pay the arbitration fees, this creates a Kleros dispute. In the Kleros dispute, juror can rule. So they can rule for an answer, yes or no. But they can also rule answer too soon if they believe that the answer is it's not possible to give an answer at this time. And if the ruling is answer too soon, then people who would have put stake on yes or no, they're going to lose their stake. People who put a stake on answer too soon and pay the arbitration fee are going to win the stake of people who put yes and no. And then the question is going to be re-asked, and people can answer it in the future. And we hope that they will answer it when the answer is available. And then, like when they answer it again, you again have this same kind of game where people can give yes, no, or answer too soon. And at some point, the answer should be no, and so at some point, they should have the result being yes or no.
Awesome. That made a lot of sense. Thank you, Clement.
So it's not relevant for all applications. Like, for example, for Suzy, which is a moderation bot, like you will never have answer too soon. Like, did this conduct violate the rule? Like, no, like you can always know it. Like, you're not going to magically have more information in the future. But for question, in particular question about prediction markets, it makes a lot of sense to have this answer too soon option.
Great. I get it. And these questions can be, this is the reality thing, but in a normal, where the stake is engaged, is involved, is it, so these disputes can now come from any chain, or they must be initiated in Arbitrum still?
Also, we can bridge the same way as actually currently even with V1, we have some bridges, namely to Polygon and Gnosis chain. So you can have a dispute which starts on Polygon or Gnosis chain, but then is created currently on the mainnet. So in V2, that will also be possible, but that will also be specifically possible because we are making a bridge for V2, which is VIA, which can also be used by other projects. And we're gonna also make it simpler to be able to create disputes from other platforms, because currently we had to make specific integration for each of the applications which were on another chain.
Lovely. And what's the status of VEA?
I think we're gonna ask the VIA main dev.
So there's a DevNet that developers can test with. So VIA right now supports bridging from Arbitrum to Ethereum mainnet and from Arbitrum to Gnosis chain, and that's the initial scope. So we do have a developer, an instance of VIA where developers can can test their applications integrated with Bridge with relatively low latency. So you can send messages in about 30 minutes. The version of VIA, which will be on mainnet, will have more latency. So a developer could expect a message to be sent from Arbitrum to mainnet or to Gnosis chain in about 1 day, like 28 hours or so. And the testnet, we are working on a client. So the unique aspect of VIA, just like Kleros, is that it's permissionless. Anyone can participate in the bridging protocol itself. So we are working on a client to share with the community to run if they want to participate in VIA. And what that means is watching to make sure that there's no fraud. So VIA has a very similar trust model as optimistic rollups. It works with an optimistic mechanism, so anyone can participate to identify the fraud. So in any case, we're working on the client to share with the community. It's in development and should be ready soon.
Nice. Perfect. So currently already in V1, disputes can be initiated in Polygon, as Clement mentioned. That's pretty cool. I wasn't aware of that.
Okay. Do you have any other question, guys? Okay. Well, Jean, then what's forward now? People can start claiming their POAPs?
Yes, people can DM me. I can send them the link. And if Damian already shared the article on how to get Testnet. You can just follow us on Twitter and wait for updates. We will be posting news on new disputes and of course new channels to give feedback about the version 2. And yes, that's it. And also there's something that Clement has hinted at before, but we are planning to do an airdrop for people that try the courts and get at least one coherent vote and are also registered on Proof of Humanity. So there is no civil attack to the incentive program. And yeah, I hope you like it. If you can share it with our people from the Web3 world that are heavy beta testers, it will be nice to have them on board too.
Yeah, I'll just interrupt. I don't know if you can still see my screen. This is the appeal tab that we have at the moment, and there's a timer on this. It's going to disappear in a few seconds. So, yep, it's gone. So it's an appeal period. There was a vote actually when we were answering the previous question. Actually, I was voting. Yeah, so it will be on the video. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, it's a testnet, so still we have some bugs, but I mean, we count on you to help us identify them and so we can fix them as soon as possible. Also to improve the user experience in whatever can be improved, so we have the code in the best possible shape, for the actual launch. So thank you all for coming, and you can start playing with this little new toy. Okay. Thank you, guys. And see you on Telegram. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Thanks everyone for coming.
See you.